going on, everybody? We are here, me and Ben. Ben was Luke's best friend. I considered myself a good friend to Luke. And we just saw that somebody, we're not sure who, has access to Luke's Instagram page. We're assuming it's someone in his family, has released a statement about his death. And I think me and Ben just wanted to say a couple things about it, but I'm going to let Ben start because Ben was his best friend and probably knew him better than anybody on earth.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one for both of us. I think we've spoken already, and we're both unsure how to approach this. I'll speak from my behalf, and then I'll let you say what you want. I'm very unsure on how to approach this. I feel a certain way, and I want to be very careful that I'm not disrespectful, that I don't react to something, and that I understand some reasons behind it, because I always think that there's a reason behind an action and whatever. So it's been a difficult day before any of this happened. Obviously, it's Luke's birthday today, so I find the timing of it strange, but that's kind of irrelevant, I guess. So obviously, the narrative that was put out originally was is now being disputed, shall we say, and that he passed away for other reasons. Now, the narrative that I think is important here, I am not retracting what I said originally at all, and I never will retract that. I stand by everything I've ever said about Luke. That's first and foremost. One other thing I did and have always said was how careful, conscious, and sensible Luke was when it pertains to his bodybuilding career, and that jeopardizing his health for bodybuilding gains was not something Luke ever did. And this is the bit that I'm feel like it's something that wasn't to me and would be. I know it's important to Luke. I've spoken to a couple of close friends this morning, and one thing that Luke was particularly passionate about was taking care of his health, right? So obviously we know the pursuit of this sport requires taking certain compounds, and they have negative effects. But again, I'm probably, there's a lot of things that were, sorry, go on.
Say what you want to say, man. Don't, like, I know we're trying to be sensitive about certain people's feelings, but
Right.
I just think you have to say what you want to say, man. Just say what you want to say.
Luke was putting his body under stress, but from other areas in his life. To say that the pressures of bodybuilding and the requirement to look a certain way is what's led him down this path is insane. I promise you that is not Luke. That was never him, and I'll defend that, and reputation on that. I'll defend that forever. I'm gonna pass it back to you, buddy, for a bit. I don't
Okay.
want to.
I am. I think I'm pretty upset about what I saw today. And I also am very upset at the reaction from people, because they, some people revel in the fact that they're like, yeah, I was right. See, I was right. It was because of the gear and because of this and that. And it's upsetting to see how quickly, like, some people are ready to jump on that train. Um, all I can say, I don't want to go into too much detail, like we said, to protect some people's feelings. But what I can say is the original story you heard is 100% true, and his best friends knew it. And the story you heard today is also true. So I want you guys to think about it for a minute, but those two stories can be true at the same time. Um, Nobody, me, Ben, James, anybody that was close to Luke, we never set out to mislead anybody. We only told the truth, and there really isn't a right or wrong way or a good or bad scenario. Like, it doesn't make him look good with the first story, and it doesn't make him look good with the second story. It's just shitty both ways. There's no reason to lie on our end. And you know I love bodybuilding, and I assume I know all of the faults that come with bodybuilding. And if it was something bodybuilding related that caused Luke's death, I wouldn't dance around it, and I wouldn't run away from it. We would be the first ones sitting here going, look, guys, you got to go get checked. You got to go get this. You got to go with that. That would have been our demeanor immediately. Had that been the story, had that been the truth, our immediate reaction, our immediate videos to you all would have been, look, this thing happened and it was because of this, and you guys all need to be careful, and you all need to get checked, and you all need to go to a doctor, and you all blah, 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 blah. But that's not what happened. And um, we made the proper videos in accordance with what we knew took place. So I'm not sure what motivations anybody has to put out the statement they did put out, but whatever they are, that's their business. But all I can say on my end, and I know I've come to know Ben very well now, is we have no reason to lie. Both of us are very honest people. You guys know that. You guys watch my podcast. You guys have known me for a while now, if you've been following me, and we don't bullshit people. So, I mean, you guys can believe somebody, we don't even know who it is, who has access to the account, which I feel like is an invasion of privacy to begin with, that they just, so we don't even know who has the account to begin with. Or you can choose to believe, two people that knew him well, and really have nothing but his best interests. And I've always been honest with you to begin with. So I don't really have much else to say. It's just very upsetting. It's very upsetting. And I guess I'll let Ben finish.
I'll say this on my part. I'm okay if people don't like me. I'm okay if people think I'm a liar. I'm okay if people think I'm a piece of shit. What I'm not okay with is people thinking ill of Luke. I will defend that boy as honestly and as correctly as I can. And if that puts me down and puts me in a bad position, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I do nothing to benefit myself over putting Luke in a negative position or light. I will never do that. That will never be the case. There are two people, and this is the battle that I've been contending with all morning. My only question this morning that I've been asking is, what's the right thing to do here? What is the right thing by Luke? And there's an extension of that which I'm battling, and that's, what's the right thing to do by his two children? They are my only concerns in all of this. And so it's a very difficult process. I think that's pretty evident in this video between you and I, that this is not something either of us want to be doing.
But I think I have a different. I have one different aspect to this, and I know everything you're saying is correct. But I also feel like Luke would be very upset if he wasn't able to
Mhm.
defend himself when people were talking about him negatively or with falsehoods. I feel like
Yeah.
part of my motivation for this is not, everything. Like I said, everything you said is correct. But I think my motivation for this is honestly, I'm angry because Luke can't defend himself, and I'm like, you know what, I will. And that's maybe that's the
Yeah.
wrong motivation, but I feel like somebody should say the truth.
Right. Ultimately, the truth can only be presented in so much light as well, right? This is something that we were discussing earlier. There are certain things that can and should never come to public light in anyone's personal life, right? My life, your life, we're things that we want to, keep out of discussion. And because Luke was so well known, so popular, it doesn't give his fans or anyone else entitlement to know it.
Hmm.
There are certain things that can be left alone,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think
And I think,
digging.
yeah, I think we're doing that. I think we're not getting into details, but we're saying, all I think all we're saying is, look, the original facts came out, and I don't feel like it's right to try and rewrite history for whatever the reason is.
Yeah. Look, I'll say what I said to you earlier, and I hope I'm not being too specific here, but take heart failure. On paper, in black and white, looking through a keyhole, if you see heart failure on a postmortem, an autopsy, and you see a 300-pound bodybuilder, there's a natural assumption that's very easy to connect those two dots, right? And what's happening here is people are getting 2 + 2 and they're getting 20, right? And there's a big difference in looking at it through the keyhole versus looking at the entire picture. And there's a handful of people who know the whole picture,
Mm.
and it's not actually who you think it. The people that know the whole picture aren't actually probably the obvious people, right?
Mm.
It might not be his parents, it might not be his family, it might not be me, it might not, you know what I mean? That just realize that there is a lot more to people's lives than they show you, and that you'll ever see.
Yeah. Well, like I said, without being too, I want people to use their heads when I say this, because I don't, like I said, we have to be kind of vague because of privacy issues. But I want you just to think of this statement I'm going to make, and then you guys can. I think we're going to leave it because we don't want to draw this out. But all I want to say is both statements, the one that you heard originally and the one that you're hearing now, can both be true. So you guys can use your thoughts to think about how that works. But Ben, would you agree? Would you kind of say the same thing, or are we saying something different?
No, we're saying the same thing. We're saying that heart failure can occur intentionally or unintentionally.
Okay. Guys, we're going to leave it there. This is not a comfortable topic to discuss, and it's not one that we actually even wanted to, but I think maybe I even pushed Ben a little bit because I just feel like, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. But we both struggled with whether we should do it or not. But I think we're going to leave it there because I think somebody should speak for Luke, and I guess we decided we want to do it. So, anything else you want to say, Ben, before we go? Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.